Hello, this is I'll Stream That, and welcome to the fourth video for Kerbal's space program. If you remember, we did Orbit last time, and what we are going to do is we're going to do another orbit, and this time what we are going to do is we're going to have some science on board. So let's take the Orbiter 1.1, which is the one that we had before that was successful, and let's throw some science on here. So we're going to take a mystery goo, and we're actually going to take two of these. We're going to take two barometers, and two thermometers. So we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to have those with us so we can do some experiments up there. We're not taking the Science Junior this time. We are going to switch out Jebediah for Valentina. And we're going to save, and we're going to launch. So, and the reason we're doing this is we need the science. Okay, and they did mess that up a little bit. So that right there is exactly what we need. So we're not going to be doing that one yet. Okay, and I'm just trying to kind of tip it just a little bit. I don't want to tip it a lot. That right there should be about where I want it. And that will actually help elongate the orbit. So we are going to wait. Once those ones are empty, we will eject those. So far we're doing pretty good. So the apparatus. Okay, so we are going to make this. So we want that to be up above 70. And it is there. So now what we want to do is we want to tip this. And that right about there should do it. We want to watch our fuel. Okay, we can't do any maneuver nodes yet. So we're getting up pretty high. And right now we are actually up above the atmosphere, which is why we're getting that music. We've used not quite half of our liquid fuel. That right there is half. So really what we want to do is we want this line right here to come out and be over 70,000. Looks like, yes, we are definitely going to get that. The periapsis should be coming out soon. There it is. Once that hits 70, we are good to go. And we are comfortably in orbit. So, let's go back to our ship. And let's do some experiments. Let's observe the mystery goo. That is actually in space near Kerbal. What is our apoapsis? That's at 247. Let's go ahead and recycle that. And let's get a little further out. And let's see what that does for us. Okay, that is still near Kerbal. So let's see what happens when we get to be around 200,000. That is the same. Let's do the temperature, see if that is any different. Okay, that gets us 0. Barometric pressure. Barometric pressure gets us 0 as well. A crew report, I believe, will get us 0. I believe we can do an EVA, and we can. So, Valentina is now outside. So let's do an EVA report. That gets us 8 science. So let's keep that back on board. And let's actually burn a little bit more towards prograde. Oh, that's right, the SAS automatically goes off when you go out. Okay, so let's see what happens when we get even further out. There we go. So about 300,000 is what it takes for high Kerbal orbit. Okay, and then let's send her out on another EVA. We will take the data and store the experiments. We will take that and that and that. Store those, do a crew report. Oh, actually, before we do that, we need to do an EVA report. Then she can store that and board, and she's already done everything that she can do. So let's go back to the map. And now what we want to do is we want to get the periapsis down so we can come back in. So we find the yellow mark that has the X in it, and that is the one that says that we are facing retrograde, or backwards. We'll burn full. And that right there, let's actually do a little bit more. And that should work. So now let's warp. And there we go. So now we wait and let's go ahead and turn that way. Okay, so now we wait until we start to burn. And when we start to burn, then what we will do is we will go ahead and we will start our engines. There we go. So what we are doing is we are burning. We are burning retrograde, which means we are slowing everything down. As you can see, our orbit speed is going down, and we want surface speed. Once the surface speed is below 1,000, we should stop burning. We may or may not hit that before we run out of fuel. If we don't, then we will go ahead and we will decouple the engine. And then we will quietly wait until everything is fine. And with this, Valentina will also have 1 star. So we are now out of fuel. We will let our engine go. And let our heat shield do the work. And we will speed up a little bit here. Right under 1,000 is when it stopped burning. And we do still have 1 full side of experiments that we can do, but we are going to be landing in the water, and all of the water ones have been done. Let's go ahead and jettison the heat shield. We will rock that loose. And speed up until we hit the surface of the Earth, or of Kerbal. And a nice gentle splashdown. So let's go ahead and recover the vessel. We should have gotten a lot of science from that. And there we go, we now have 76 science. And we got a little bit of money for that, and she is now a level 1. So what did we do? A spacewalk in orbit of Kerbal. So with that, let's go into mission control and see. That did not do what I had hoped. Okay. And I think I know why. So let's go into the research and development. So we can do the flight control, which does not do what I wanted it to do. So we have 76. Our flight control doesn't give us what I want. So we need to do a little more science. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make another, and let me do an so I can see what we have. Okay. So with this one, let's go new. There we go. Let's do this, a science rocket 1. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to take this to the mountain. Let's do this one that's got the oxidizer on it. And actually, instead of doing it that way, let's grab Science Junior. Let's do the thermometer, the barometer, and the mystery goo. And grab that, and let's go ahead and do a swivel. Let's put the basic fins on there. And let's also oh, that's the big one. I need that one. So let's do that. And I think we should do this like okay. This I think needs to be done a little bit differently here. I want that to go there. Let's put some small, I think these are the smaller ones. No, these are the smaller ones. Yes, let's put those down there, and let's put some mystery goo right there. Okay, so there we go. And the crew, Jeb will be piloting. So let's save that and launch it. And let's go forward until it's morning. Alright, there we go. So we have a morning launch ready to go, and we are going to the mountains. or as close to the mountains as we can get. SAS and our CS on, of course. So the reason that we want to do this is because that is a different biome. Okay, so that falls down. So we may not make it all the way there, but we should make it to a different biome, and then we will do all of the different experiments. So, and that should land us down safely. So we did not make it to the mountains. That is the grasslands. We have not done that one yet, so that right there got us some new science. And there is our shadow. And the shadow is always a good thing to look for. It lets you know how close you are to the ground. And the Science Junior exploded. So I think next time we do this, we're going to have a heat shield on the bottom. But let's go ahead and do our science. Okay, we do an EVA. Store the experiments. Board, and then we can do, we can't do another crew report. Okay, so with that, what we do is we do the EVA, we take the data, store the data, and then we board, and then we should be able at that time to do another crew report. So let's recover. And let's see if we have the 90 science that we need for what I want. We do. We lost a little bit of money on that, but we can still have that one, and that gets us the Probodyne. That also gets us some lights and a battery and a solar panel. So what we can do with that is we can now do satellites, basic satellites. The tracking station, I would love to update that, or so the tracking station I can't upgrade yet, it's expensive. Mission control, I can. But right now, let's go ahead and go back into the vehicle assembly building. And we are going put a heat shield on the bottom of that. And not only that, we are also going to put we're going to put those on there. So that right there should be what we need. So let's go ahead and do that one again and see if we can get a little bit further. So let's save that and go. Let's see if we can get even further. Let's observe the materials bay and see Okay, that gets us 17 science right there. So let's see if that heat shield will save it. Okay, so we are now coming down. So let's see if this is actually going to work. If the heat shield does, then we know that that will actually save the Science Junior every time we come down. At least with this configuration. Okay, there we go. We're close. Okay, and that will. So we already have our science from that, so let's go ahead and recover it. Okay, and that got us 20. So with that we are going to end today's episode. We're going to go back into mission control real quick. And that did not work. That did not do what I was hoping it would do today. But that is fine. So this ends episode 4 of Kerbal Space Program. And come back next time, and we will be doing some fun with some satellites, and maybe something else as well. So we're gonna try to have a little bit of fun with satellites next time. So my name is I'll Stream That, and thank you for watching.